Are you thinking about joining the aesthetic business industry as a registered nurse because you're just burnt out and tired? Well, I know you're probably wondering, well, how do I do it? Should I start my own business? Because I hear everybody talking about Medspa. Or should I just go train and then work for a Medspa? Well, today I'm going to answer those questions. This is actually a question that was asked in my comments, and I thought this is a really good question and probably one that a lot of people want to ask. So stay tuned. I'm going to answer this question and give you some tips on how you can get into the industry. All right, you guys, one common question that I often get is, how do I go or where do I start when it comes to entering this aesthetic space? And so y'all know I'm always gonna bring the tea. So I want to talk to you guys about that, and I'm giving it from my perspective based on my experience as an injector, also as an aesthetic business owner, and of course always thinking about things that I wish I would have known. But first, let me get started. My name is Dr. Kiiyonna Jones. I am a nurse practitioner as well as a PhD prepared nurse and owner of an aesthetic practice, Luxe Beauty and Wellness Boutique, located in the LA area. And I help nurses start their own aesthetic practices, which I absolutely love to do. Nurses, nurse practitioners, MDs, PAs. And so one of the questions I often get asked is like, okay, well, what's the difference? Which one is better? Which one should I consider? And so I want to give you some points to think about, and then of course you make the decision that's best for you. Anytime it comes to working for anyone, just know that that's always going to be on the lower cost for you as an injector, right? So if you know you want to work for a med spa, or you want to volunteer, or you're going to pay for your certification to train that, but you plan on working for one, that's going to save you a lot of money. Here's the challenge with working for other med spas. As an inexperienced injector, it's going to be very difficult to get in. By the way, I have a video, look it up, or we'll link it in this video on how to get in with no experience, by the way, into the aesthetic industry. But what I'm trying to tell you is that because you are an inexperienced injector, and most med spas are small, owned by single entrepreneurs, or they're small businesses, they really don't have the resources to spend a lot of time on training you. But if you can get hired in an aesthetic business, it will be absolutely an amazing opportunity as an inexperienced injector, because then you get to learn while you work and get paid. I must caution you though, you're not going to get paid as much as you can earn as a bedside nurse if you're at the bedside, right? It doesn't matter if you've had 20 years, 10 years, 5 years of experience, you're going to get paid on the lower side until you learn and get the experience. So one advantage of starting as an employee in the med spa space versus opening your own business is going to be, of course, cost. If you're opening your own business, there's a high cost associated with that, of course, because you have to invest on the front end. You're also taking a lot of risk, and by taking the risk, that means that it's gonna fall on you if anything goes wrong. So some people are like, oh, that's so scary to me. There's no reward without risk. I should say the greater the risk, the greater the reward. So yes, you can save money by starting to work for an aesthetic business if you're able to get in, but then also you will be able to experience the med spa space, like what it's like to work for them. You'll have a different set of lenses if you know ultimately you want to have your own business. You will definitely be able to learn on the job. You will be able to have access to other people in the industry, and that could be a really, really, really good thing. Another advantage to working in a med spa first versus starting your own business is of course being able to, they have a lot of like networking that goes on there, right? Other spas collaborate, speak to, have events with spas in the area as well. So you can really, really be able to connect with a lot of industry experts in your area. And when I tell you community is so important and who you know is so important in aesthetics, I cannot stress that enough. So being able to be around those who are already in the industry, who have already kind of paved the way for you, is going to set you up for success once you decide to own your own aesthetic business. So that's number 2. Number 3, the advantage you would have for starting to work for a med spa versus owning your own med spa, of course, is, I should say, the obvious, and that is the minimal operational responsibility. When you have your own business, you are responsible for everything, right? Not just go in and inject. That goes with any business, right? We go to the hospital, we clock in, we take care of our patients, and yes, we have them as a load, but we don't have to think about the operations of a whole hospital, right? The same is true for owning a med spa. If you own your own business, everything rests on you, from cleaning the bathroom to following up with the patients that you've treated, to the booking systems, the automations, your team, marketing, all of that falls on you. So that the fact that you will have minimal operational responsibility and be able to really spend time learning your craft could really set you up for success. So a lot of people don't realize that it's one of those things in aesthetics where, yes, in most jobs you start off making less, but you can go from making, I don't know, $25 an hour or like $40,000 a year to, if you're an injector for 2 to 3 years, you could easily make upwards of $150,000, $200,000 or more. And if you own your own business, it gets even better. So, and number 4, which is the last one, is you'll start building a rapport with your community. And I'm not talking about the networking community, I'm talking about patients. Think about when you go to the nail shop or you go get your hair done, or even when you go to the doctor, like you want to go to the doctor you want to go to. There was something they did that made you feel good. Either you got great treatment, you were heard, whatever it is, you will start developing rapport with patients, and you'll find that those patients will want you. They'll be like, is Jane available? I want to wait for Jane. If Jane is gone out of town for a week or 2 weeks, I will wait for Jane because Jane, I love the way she does my lips, or I love the way she does my talks, or maybe Jane just makes me feel really good because she listens to me. She doesn't try to rush when she spends time with me, whatever the case is. So those are advantages of working at a spa first. Now think about it. If you're able to engage with your patients, you're able to develop relationships with patients that's in the community, that is helping you with what we call in the hospital, right, your bedside manner. So now you're getting comfortable, you're knowing what type of questions patients will ask, you know how to ease their anxiety, you'll know like you'll know how to predict what their apprehension will be. And also, you're gonna learn how to sell, which is my last number 5. You guys, if you decide to start your own business, you need to know how to sell. And that is a huge obstacle for us, especially as healthcare professionals, because we don't have to sell antibiotics when somebody has an infection. We don't have to sell pain medication when somebody's in pain. They're gonna be begging us for that. So the fortunate part for us is that we are often in a position where people want the care that we provide, but when you're in aesthetics, especially if you decide to be an owner, you're gonna have to learn how to sell. And there's a fine line, because it's still medical, right? It's still medication, it's still medical treatment. So you can't just sell them everything. It should make sense for their treatment, right? Depending on if you're a nurse practitioner, you can create your own treatment plan. But if you're a registered nurse, you have to do that in conjunction with your medical provider. But you have to give them a treatment that is medically necessary, like not overdoing it with your patients. But those are the 5 reasons, or 5 advantages, I should say, where you should work for an aesthetic business versus starting your own med spa. Now, let me tell you my story really quick. Y'all know I'm trying to keep these videos to less than 8 minutes, but less than 10 minutes, but that's a challenge. But anyway, I just want to really quickly tell you guys my story. I didn't have any experience working at a med spa. I tried. I'm sure a lot of people have done this too. I applied to several, and they just wouldn't hire me. They said I had different responses. One was like, not one, but some said like I was overqualified. Some said that I was underqualified. And the truth of the matter is it was probably a little bit of both, because I already had my PhD. Or no, I didn't have my PhD yet, but I already had my master's degree, and I had already been a nurse for almost 10 years. But then when it comes to experience in the aesthetic space, I literally didn't have none. So that could have also been a valid reason. But I started to think to myself, like, do I want to spend all this time like continuing to like try to get in? Plus I did not know the things I know now, by the way. So I just was applying, and time was just passing. And I was like, you know what? There are people out here that are starting with no experience, their own med spas. Like, let me just see if I can actually do that. So I stepped out and I just started paying my way. I started investing in myself. I started investing in my training. I started paying people privately who own spas in my area to help to consult with me, to provide me business guidance, to mentor me. And I was just like, I'm not gonna keep on asking for a seat at the table. I'm gonna build my own. But of course, I made a lot of mistakes in that process. And so I am grateful for those mistakes now, because I can help a lot of people avoid those mistakes. So that's essentially my story. Again, you guys, it's what works best for you. If you have the patience, drive, and determination, and you are like, I'm gonna do this, then you can do it. If you're one of those who's like, I'm very like, I don't know, I'm scared, then network with other people in the industry, attend conferences, attend networking events that's specifically for aesthetics or injectables or med spas. Just be in those rooms and connect with other people. And then you may be able to find a way in. It may not, like I said, it's not going to pay you as much. You may even need to volunteer, but there are ways in. And so if that is your choice, I have provided you with a nice little oversight to help you make the best informed decision for yourself. Again, you guys, if you enjoyed this video, and only if you enjoyed this video and you love my content, make sure you subscribe. Make sure that you also share it with some nurse besties, whether they're nurse practitioners, even physician assistants, even MDs. Share it with another healthcare professional. Don't gatekeep. I provide a lot of value, because I just really truly believe that we as nurses deserve to charge way more, to earn way more, and to work way less. So if that is you, then I'm your girl. Again, you guys, take care, and I look forward to seeing you guys virtually in about a week. I'll be posting every week. Bye.